This hangout on air is live. Hi, welcome to Kickass Switch, putting the K in magic. I'm Joanna DeVoe, and you are watching another one of these live streamy things, which makes me so nervous. I get nervous before I do this, which is weird. I did like 200 episodes of my podcast live. I called in. It was even before I had a microphone. I would just call in to my own radio show on my phone and I would just start talking. So you'd think I would be used to being very like spontaneous, but something happens to me before I hit go live on these videos and I'm like, what am I going to say? I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to say today, which is why I just titled this like a witchy chat. Because we're just going to chat here. Oh dear, already I'm like forgetting something. No, there it is. Okay, so the last chat that I did, some of you asked a couple questions in the chat bar, and I missed them. So I'm going to answer those here today, and I think I look okay. I'm covered in tiny little bumps. Not covered, but my forehead and down the side of my face and little bit in here, I have these tiny little bumps on my face. So I was not excited about doing a video, but the lighting helps a lot. And for that reason, because I'm vain, I have a history of acne. And what I have learned in all of my foodie health adventures that I've been on and all the books I've read is that our body stores toxins in our fat and or releases it through our skin. And so if you've ever seen somebody who's very, very thin but has a really like painful looking case of acne, you know they have a toxic system or they have some kind of food allergy going on. For me, it was milk. And just stopping milk stopped the acne, which was a miracle. But I had so many years of going around with acne when I was young during my formative years that now when I get it, it like brings me right back there. You know, it's like once you have acne, you always have acne. Like it just becomes a part of you. But the reason is this stuff, I think. I have been, in addition to detoxing, decluttering my home, I have been detoxing my body. And I just kind of fell into it while I was doing the decluttering process. I was talking about it on Patreon and some people showed some interest there. So the next podcast that I record for Patreon, I'm going to explain in detail the detox I did. But it's a 4-day Ayurvedic detox. Basically, you're eating like 3 meals of khichdi a day, which is split yellow mung beans and rice. It's supposed to be very simple and easy to digest, and you only have like 3 little servings of that a day, and then you're sipping hot water through the day. And then this, I think, I'm taking some supplements. So one supplement is turmeric with black pepper, and this mangista, I think I'm saying that right. Mangista. This is what I think is making me break out. They're just like these tiny little bumps. Like when the light shines in a certain way, it's like, ugh, not cute. But I think I know that this is from the detox I'm doing because my face, even when I had acne, it didn't do that. This is definitely unique to this detox situation. And this is supposed to be really great for detoxing your lymph. And that is the focus of this detox. And then this, I just wanted to show you this Ayurvedic Detox Tea with ginger. I think it's A&I Nutrients is the company. I just bought this. I Googled and Googled and Googled looking for all the different ingredients I needed for this tea. And this one had them all. And now that I say that, I'm going to forget to tell you what they all are. Cumin, coriander, fennel, and then this one had ginger for flavor. I don't know if this is contributing to the little bumps. I'm quite certain it's the mangista. and just the detox in general. But this I have before each meal of kitchery, and it's really grown on me. Like, I really enjoy this. So I think this is gonna like stick with me even after this. But what I love about this, there's a lot of things I love about this, but something that I've been talking about for years now is this mind, body, soul connection. And I can see someone looking at me through the window. It's creepy. This mind, body, soul connection, and how your soul expresses itself through your body and through your home, but also you can care for your soul through your body and through your home. So it was very cool to me when I was in the process of doing all this deep decluttering that I just kind of felt guided over to start working on this Ayurvedic lymph detox, to start releasing some of the toxins in my body. And the two just seem to go hand in hand. So I wanted to mention that here. I'm going to hop over. You right now are on Google Chrome. And I have learned from the last time I did this that if I open Safari, oh, I don't see it. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I was going to say there, okay. If I mute this, if I mute it, I can see who's here. Hi, hey, hun, 100 days at a time. Hello. And Travis is here. Hi, guys. Hi. My Hangouts don't look as nice as other people's, and I don't know why that is. I have a pretty good MacBook Air, so it must be my internet connection. I feel like there's a way to get these comments up just on so I can see them without pulling up another window. And I'd like to figure out how to do that because I feel like it might be contributing to the fuzziness of the picture. Hi, Lindsay. Hi, you guys. I'm just here to chit chat, and so I will keep popping back over here. Happy new moon! Oh, that's something else I wanted to mention. That reminds me, my friend Marla, here, I got to get this off because I can see myself. There's like a slight delay, and I'm seeing myself like, I talk with my hands. I look so goofy. Parker Lynn. Hi, Joanna. First time I've caught you on a live chat. Yay, this is so cool. Oh my God, I'm smiling so hard my face hurts. Witchy mama wisdom. Now I don't want to look away because of the comments. Okay, I have to, or I'll never say anything constructive. Hi, you guys. Hi. My friend Marla sent me this book this weekend, Moonology. And I'm aware of this book. I've seen this book around, and it's not one that I would have bought for myself. I already work with the phases of the moon. And just in terms of my magic, I do a lot of releasing work during the dark moon, and then I set new intentions during the new moon, and all that good witchy stuff. But this book, I was in it. Like, I picked it up. I'm reading several other books, but this one I was just like, oh, it's so fun. It breaks the moon phases down into 8 sections. I know it's often presented as being 3 or 5. What was exciting about that to me is that I work with the Wheel of the Year, and that's broken into 8 sections. So I really understand that 8-spoked wheel as a template for manifestation. So when I was reading this, I was thinking about how that same 8-spoked wheel is a template for manifestation, just in a smaller, faster movement, because the moon circles around every like 28.5 days, 29 days, something like that. And, it takes the sun to cycle around every 365 days. So I actually write about that in the intro for the Psycho-Spiritual Wheel of the Year. So I did already have this concept of like, well, you work with the moon to manifest things on a maybe smaller things, but on a faster, quicker level. And then you work with the phases of the sun to manifest those more like long-term, bigger goals. And that's largely what we're doing in the Psycho-Spiritual Wheel of the Year, is just working with, man, I ramble when I don't have a plan. But you're working with a manifestation process as you're going through the wheel of the year. So that's what this is about. But the reason you saying Happy New Moon to me reminded me of this is because this moon is in Gemini, and this book has this really fun section, something I haven't thought a lot about how to work with the different houses. In the zodiac, there's 12 different houses. On your natal chart, there's different houses. So you look at what house Gemini is in, and then you work with the energies of that house. And that is more specific to who you are. So my house is Gemini's in my 4th house, and that is the house of house. That is the house of family and home. And I thought, oh, that's so perfect, because I still have a couple of weeks left of this 8-week deadline that I gave myself to finish decluttering all the boxes and bags in my home. And I'm running out of time, and I'm getting anxious about it. And I'm focus, you can do this. You can meet this deadline. And so I'm going to use the new moon to really work on that. And then this was the tarot card I pulled this morning. The 10 of Cups. And I think of this as being very much about family and home, abundance and joy. And it's definitely a happy card. I mean, hello. This is the Tarot Illuminati. I've been using this forever. I love it. I'm going to pop over, since I just ranted and raved at you. Say hi. God, I wish I could just block myself out right there. Sue. Hi, Sue. Greece. That is so cool, because Athena is my girl. She's my, I guess you'd call her my matron, my patron goddess. I love Athena, and my mom is going back to Greece. She was just working there as a missionary, working with refugees, and she's going back. And I scored this. This is supposed to be about Feng Shui. I don't know what I'm doing. I scored this Athena ring during her last trip to Greece, so maybe she'll bring me something Athena again. Hi, Karina. Okay, let's try to get on topic here. Ramble. I put down below links to 2 different book nerd posts that I have done. I do these book nerd posts, if you don't know, where if I love a book and I want to recommend a book, there's a lot of books that I love and want to recommend that I don't do book nerd posts on. But if it's on the theme of the month and I have some extra time, I create these book nerd posts where I take my favorite quotes. I list, 15 or so of my favorite quotes, and then I give a little review. And so I did those, I think this one in 2015, Clear Your Clutter with Feng Shui by Karen Kingston. And this one, The Western Guide to Feng Shui, Room by Room, by Tara Catherine Collins. And so I really recommend those books if you want to do the kind of feng shui that I like to do, which is very practical, Western leaning feng shui. So it's not as caught up in some of the superstition and I don't know, maybe it's not superstition. Some of feng shui feels like superstition to me. But I'm kind of like that anyway with all things witchy. So what I was going to do here is talk more about feng shui specifically. But as I was putting my lights up and thinking about it, I was thinking I don't have a lot to say about feng shui, because I think what I'm into is decluttering, and then just kind of an intuitive approach to there goes a lawnmower. I hope you guys don't hear that. I'll check with you in a minute to find out how disrupting that is, because it can get really loud. We have some overzealous gardeners in our hood. But anyway, I'm more concerned with the flow of energy, the flow of chi, as you might say, if you're working with feng shui, and if things feel good. And in the last video I did here, the last live stream, I was talking about some of the more practical cures in feng shui. So if you want to read more, I recommend these 2 books for learning more. And then what I really recommend, even beyond that, if you're not like super into Feng Shui, is Marie Kondo's The Life Changing Magic of Tidying Up. I can't even say it with a straight face because I've said it so many times on the podcast now. And I also linked down below to a blog post and video I did called The 100 Things Challenge, something like clear your clutter in 5 days. That was inspired by Marie Kondo's method, the life-changing magic of tidying up. And to me, her method just is very, very practical, and it's something that you can maintain. I still fold my clothes the way that she recommended. I always think about that because that was like a revelation to me. It made so much space in my drawers and everything's so orderly and nothing gets wrinkled. And she has some really good tips like that. So I'm going to direct you to other people if you want to learn more about this stuff. But I do have some fun little notes. Okay, first of all, somebody, HLB0111. I don't know who that is, but she was on, I'm assuming it was just she. I don't know. She was on the last Hangout, and I missed her question. She said, I have never been able to get Feng Shui to work for me, and I even hired a Feng Shui expert. What could be the issue? That is... See, here comes that mower. I'm going to hop on over and see if you guys are hearing the mower. Are you hearing that? It's so loud. Can't hear it. Yes. Okay. Brazil. Hi. Oh, how do you say your name? Vitor? Vitor. I want to be fancy with it. It's probably not that fancy, right? I'm from Brazil. Thank you so much. Okay, good. I hear it, so it distracts me a little bit. And I think I'm an easily distracted person in general. Back to the question. Let me pull that up so I'm just looking at the question and I can stay on track. So I would say if you've tried Feng Shui and you've hired a Feng Shui expert, what could the issue be? It really depends on what the issue is, and I don't know what the issue is in this question, but I'm going to say Feng Shui is about subtle energies. It's like working with crystals or flower essences. These things are very cool and very witchy and very fun, and I do believe in some cases, maybe not with everything, that they can impact your life, but they're subtle. It's like the subtle energies of your life. That's why I'm more of a fan of decluttering, because that's more, if you really want to move energy, throw a bunch of crap away, like get rid of stuff and really examine your life that way. Whereas Feng Shui is more focused on like moving your things around and putting like certain cures up here and there. But beyond that too, I would say, your beliefs, and here we go. Now we have a lawnmower and a weed whacker. The weed whacker is even louder. This is going to be an exercise in concentration. Okay. Your beliefs are very, very powerful. The old programming of your life is very, very powerful. The programming that was put in place when you grew up by your parents, by your school, by the media, however well-intentioned, that shapes who you are, and it puts certain programs in place. So moving your stuff around and hanging up some crystals, that stuff might not get to the deeper layers of what's going on within you. I do think decluttering can be more confrontational that way, and that's a good place to start if you want to work on your home. But in addition to that, I think it's really worth doing some great shadow work and digging deep to find out, like, I don't know what the issue is. You said, what could be the issue? I don't know what you're focusing on, if it's a money thing or a love thing, but maybe do some work around that and find out what beliefs you're holding maybe that aren't serving you, or just some old patterns of thought and patterns of emotion that are holding you back. I feel so scattered. This is so crazy. Okay, so another question that I missed during the last video was from Lucy, and she said, Feng Shui tips for the office. And I'm not going to go room by room. I thought I might, but I'm not a Feng Shui expert. So again, I will recommend the Western Guide to Feng Shui, room by room. But I do have some tips for your office too, just here in the video. What's really neat is the Bagua Map that I described in the last video. Let me pull up a picture of that for you. This didn't show up very well in the last video because I think, I don't know, because maybe the light colored ink, but this, hold on, I got to see what I'm doing. So this is the Bagua Map, and it starts here, here, or here, depending on where your front door is, and then you lay the house out according to that. So your front door is either going to be coming through your life path section, the knowledge and wisdom section, or the blessings, helpful people, and travel section. The same thing, you can lay this, and you should, if you want to work with the Bagua Map, you can lay it over each room and space of your house as well. And the same thing applies. So whatever door that you enter of your office, for example, is going to be that section of your house. Life path section, knowledge and wisdom section, helpful people section, and then the whole rest of the room is laid out like this. And you can refer to that other video if you want, or if you get either of these books, they both have Bagua maps in them, or you can just Google Bagua Map and plenty will come up, like on Google Images. But what's fun about your office is there's an additional thing that you can do, and you can do this to your desk if you have a big enough desk. So this would be your chair, would be in your life path, and you're facing the whole rest of your desk. And then you like Feng Shui your desk according to this. And again, I think that it can be really fun. You can see it like light up when I talk about it. I think that's a really fun idea. But also you can get kind of like superstitious, and you don't want to have a bunch of like trinkets and weird stuff on your desk when you're trying to work. It's a clutter thing, right? Like, why make more clutter for yourself? God, my feet are already falling asleep here. Why make more clutter for yourself when you're trying to optimize your space? And again, I want to say, when it comes to optimizing your space, your home, I think you're doing soul work. I believe that you are, in addressing your home, you're addressing your soul, and it can get very, very deep that way. Another book, I have it on Kindle, so I can't lift it up and show it to you, but it's Denise Linn's Sacred Space. And I got a little page here in my book of notes from her. But there's 3 big keys in sacred space that I think are important in terms of the why. Like, why would you do decluttering? Why would you do Feng Shui? Why would you do space clearing? That's a term that Denise Linn actually coined that's very common now. Like, why do these things beyond just to have a cool looking home? Well, it's like I said, it's about care of the soul. And you can have this more intimate relationship with your psyche that way. Because the tricky thing about your psyche is it's inaccessible to the conscious mind. That's why witchy people do dream work. And we go on these like crazy astral travels and things, and we look for signs, and we look for synchronicities, and we read tarot cards because we're looking for ways to communicate with our psyches and with the deep, deep layers of our subconscious mind. They're just not accessible to the logical part of our minds or to the ego, which is very frustrating to an air sign like myself. We think we're in control, but we're not. Like, your conscious mind is just the tip of the iceberg, and everything down below, it's inaccessible for many people because they never do this work. But I'm telling you, this is like my life's work. I love this stuff. It's fascinating. And it's not just about being witchy. It's about being, I think, spiritual or creative. It's about personal development. You could be an atheist and be into this stuff big time. It's just about really knowing yourself, like know thyself. So like know thy home, know thyself. So I will read to you some quotes from my lovely book, Home Soul Home, which I named for that reason. But Denise Lynn says this. These are 3 points. 1, everything is composed of constantly changing energy, which means your home is comprised of endlessly transforming energy fields. So it's in a constant state of flux, which is why doing decluttering, space clearing, Feng Shui, it's an ongoing process. It's about working with nature and how nature presents itself in your home and how your nature presents itself in your home on an ongoing basis. Nature moves, nature changes. She has her seasons, and so do you, and so do the people you live with. So it's an ongoing, like, fluid process. Number 2, you are not separate from the world around you. Therefore, you are not separate from your home, which is what I've been emphasizing here. Number 3, everything has a consciousness, which means your home is alive and has consciousness. And that point might be controversial with some people. That's almost an animistic point of view, right? Marie Kondo talks about this. I did some digging after I read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up to discover that her roots are in Shinto, and Shinto it's animism. It's that there's a soul in everything. And you can pick up on that when you're reading the book if you're paying attention, because she talks about greeting your home when you walk in and how your home responds to that love and that energy, and how when you're handling an item, like when you're folding a shirt, how I was saying, you do it with thanks and gratitude, and you focus on like the energy that you're imbuing that with and the relationship that you're in with that item. So whether you're an animist or a pantheist or none of these things, I still think it's an interesting mindset to play around with, because it does create reverence and gratitude. It brings you into the present moment. It creates a different level of appreciation for your things. That mower, right? It has a soul. It's an angry soul. It must cut the yard. God, power tools are so aggressive. And I feel like sometimes I can be such an old lady. I didn't live during the era of push mowers, but feel like push mowers might be cool. I can't deal with the power tools. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm going to scroll up to the comments because they go back a ways here. My home needs help. I have too many boxes. Oh, tell me about it. I know. That is why I gave myself 8 weeks. Boxes. Hi, Rachel. Karina, I'd love to declutter, but if I end up throwing loads out, and that's where me and Hottie clash. Oh yeah. I love that. I guess your man is your Hottie, or a woman. I don't know. You're a Hottie. That's so cute. Yeah, it can be interesting. I think it's important to respect the people that you live with. Like my son, when I'm going through all of my stuff and throwing things out, he worries about his stuff. And I have to constantly reassure him, I would never do that to you. Someone did that to him before. I shall not name names, but it really upset him. He's very particular about his stuff. And some of it just looks like junk or trash. Like he likes to save seeds, like apple seeds, or string, because he likes to dangle the string in the wind. So I think it's important to respect people's spaces and not like chuck their stuff without their permission. I'm laughing because I have a funny story about that. Let me finish this thought and then I'll tell you the funny story. And I think that the best that you can do is lead by example. So in decluttering and throwing away your stuff, or donating it or selling it or whatever you want to do, hopefully your partner, your hottie, your family, they will start to notice and follow suit. I think this happens subconsciously anyway, because we tend to get into like in a kind of attunement with each other, kind of like clocks. If you set a clock in a room with a whole bunch of other clocks, eventually they will start talking together in time. There's a name for that and I'm forgetting it right now, but that's a real phenomenon. And I feel like you can do your decluttering and you can do your feng shuiing with intention. And one of the intentions you can hold is that you're leading by example for the rest of your family. The funny story, I gotta stop looking at myself. I'll come back to the comments section in a second. The funny story that I want to tell you is when I was with my first husband, and I don't even think we were married at the time. We might have just been living in sin. We were young. We got married when we were 18. So at this time, we must have been 18. We had our first house, and we were having a garage sale, and stuff was selling, and he got so excited that he started running into the house and grabbing stuff and bringing it out to sell. And some of that stuff was my stuff, but he was so excited about selling things that it was like, whoa, what are you doing? You're selling like a $40 shirt that I actually love and wear for $1. Like, we're not making a profit here. Like, what is going on? And it's very funny to remember at the time, like, because we were kids. I mean, we were kids. We were 18-year-olds getting married. What were we doing? But, and now when I see like an 18-year-old on the street, they look so young to me. I cannot believe I got married then. But when I think of a story like that, it just cracks me up. Like, he was so excited to make $1. He's like, what else can I sell? Ah. Okay. Feng Shui is very common in my country. What's your country? What's your country? Asian? An Asian country, perhaps? The real question is how to Feng Shui with cats. I know that too. I have 4 cats. They really keep me on my toes. 2 are very elderly and they're very, very sweet. The 2 black ones, and I have 2 white ones, and they are, both the white ones are a pain in my ass. They puke all the time. They scratch things up. They mess things up. I'll just be like sitting down to eat and I hear somebody in the corner going, it's like the worst sound ever. And it pisses me off. And it's like, I just cleaned this room and I just want to sit down and eat. So I think with animals, you have to really be, you have to be in a place of gratitude. You have to be in a place of really gratitude and thinking like what joy they bring to your life and how you're in this agreement with them. They take care of you on the emotional level. They give you love. And then you have to take care of the puke and the poop. The litter box is something that I have found that there is no cure for in Feng Shui. Not a satisfying one. My litter box is in the wealth corner of my house, section of my house. It's like perfect. So what I have done is my laundry room is, it's actually the main door that we go in and out of here. But there's a closet in there. It's like a utility closet, but that's what holds the litter box. And then I keep it propped open with this really cool serpentine brick that I got in Big Sur. And so the cats can go in and out, but it's like closed if you walk by, and so it doesn't smell and you're not looking at it. You can try to like hang crystals to break up the chi. The crystals that they use in Feng Shui are not the witchy crystals, you know, that so many of us love, that have, you know, like amethyst or citrine. You can use those in Feng Shui. They are used in Feng Shui, but Feng Shui crystals are usually, they're hung by usually what looks like fishing wire. And what they do is they're kind of like crystal disco balls. They cast little colored lights around and they move the energy. They spin a little bit on the string. So it ends up, God, I can see myself. I am so goofy and animated. I'm watching myself like trying to talk. I've got the mower over here. I can see myself being a total goofball over there. But anyway, it's about moving energy. You could disguise them with plants. I have a litter box in my backyard as well. And I planted a hibiscus bush. So the litter box is under a table, and then there's a bush, so it blocks the view if people are sitting on my patio, so they're not looking at a litter box. So there's some cat tips for you. Unsupported video format. I don't know what that means. I don't know. The real question is how Feng Shui with cats. Hi, Joanna. Lots of love to you. Thank you. Much love to you. Hi, Cora. Thank you, Rachel. I like this leopard thing. We're having a beautiful day here. It's very overcast, which is my favorite kind of day because I live in sunny California. So to me, like a cloudy, gloomy day is like my best day ever. So I get to wear this because it's a little bit hot otherwise. Yay, Butterfly McKay. Perfect timing. I'm cleaning house as I listen to this. That is the key, my friends. Podcasts, audiobooks, and videos about Feng Shui. You can find the life-changing magic of tidying up on YouTube. Or if you want to support Marie Kondo, I suppose you could buy it on Audible. I have listened to that a number of times. It's just, it keeps you on point and it keeps you inspired and on task while you are doing the decluttering. And I have found that to be very, very helpful. Sometimes I put on music to listen to while I'm decluttering, but more often than not, it's someone talking about Feng Shui. I think I've reached the bottom of decluttering and Feng Shui everything. Like I've heard it all now and it's just a repeat of the information. It's very exciting when I find someone new. I really love Rodika Chi, Tchi. She's very sweet. She's like the opposite of me. She's very soft-spoken and very gentle, not a lot of wacky hand movements. But she teaches, I think, a very accessible form of Feng Shui. She definitely considers like us Westerners, but also her base is in like Flying Star or a Key Feng Shui, more of a traditional classic Feng Shui take. But she's got a lot of great tips and she's very lovely to binge watch and listen to her. And then Feng Shui Dana Claudette, Claudat, is another person that has a lot of great videos and she's more like me. She's more animated and like, hey, everything's very positive. Okay, goofy and animated is a wonderful thing. Thank you so much. I'm KonMariing currently. I'm on books. Yeah. That's a whole process. I love that she walks you through that process, though. How often do you declutter? I assume, I don't know if you're asking this in general of people. If you're asking it of me, I have been on this decluttering journey for a very long time. And if you're asking it of me, you probably don't know what I keep finding myself repeating, which I hate because it's the most mortifying thing in the world. But I will repeat it for you. I got a bedbug infestation in my home in the fall of 2015. And I had to put all of my possessions in black trash bags, black plastic trash bags. You have to put your things in trash bags, seal them up so there's not even a tiny little chance that a bug could get out. And then you put them out in the hot sun to cook and kill the bed bugs. So all my stuff went into plastic tubs, boxes, and these black trash bags. Everything. And the crazy thing about bed bugs is they hatch every 30 days. So they kept coming back and they kept coming back. And I got very paranoid about unboxing and unpacking my stuff. So, of course, I had like a little capsule wardrobe and my favorite books and some favorite knickknacks out. But all through 2016, I lived with like these stacks of boxes and books just in different parts of my house, or sorry, boxes and bags. And I began my decluttering journey the summer before. So I went through the Marie Kondo stuff. I got my house feeling very good, in awesome order. And then the bed bugs happen. And I believe that it was a catalyst. I did not bring them into my home. Someone else brought them in on a suitcase. But once they're there, they're so hard to get rid of, especially if you have, my house is over 100 years old. So there's lots of little nooks and crannies for them to hide in. So it was a very long process. It was extremely dramatizing. And I think it was a catalyst because I had some deeper work to do and some more things to release, and it brought up a lot of old emotional traumas that needed to be healed and things like that. So it has been this huge, crazy journey for me. And so I got back on the decluttering train big time this year, and I've been doing it now for a few months, and I can see myself going for at least another month to get it down. The goal is to be done in 2 more weeks, but I think it'll take me at least another month, hopefully just this moon cycle, to get everything done. Then you're at a maintenance point. So hopefully you have some great systems in place. I talked about this in my last podcast. That one was just about maintenance, and mainly the mindset around maintenance. But on a practical level, you want to have some systems in place so the clutter doesn't pile up again. But I would say seasonally would be a good time just to take like a long weekend and really look at your house and do some decluttering. I think I don't know if you were here for the beginning of the video when I was talking about my Ayurvedic detox. I think I'm going to be doing this now every season. So they'll probably coincide. I will do like a little 4-day detox, this Ayurvedic detox, and then I'll take that time to declutter my home. So I think having a schedule like that can be very helpful. You know, some people will, every Saturday they clean house or whatever. I think I'm thinking like the transitions, like spring transition, summer transition, fall transition, winter transition. When you're moving from one season to the next, maybe like 4 times a year, I think that might be just a good time to take a pause, assess your situation, get the old energy out and some new energy in, and moving and keeping it circulating. Do you feng shui your car? Yes. More decluttering. I wouldn't say. You could, I guess, do the whole Bagua Map over your car. I have a bug vase because I have a VW bug, and it's a little vase for keeping a flower in your car. And sometimes I put a flower in there, but most of the time I have some crystals and feathers that I keep in there. And I think mainly it's just about keeping your car decluttered and clean. I park my car in the alley behind my home. We have parking spots back there, but it's just constant dust. And in the summer, I'll leave my car windows rolled down a crack, so it's not like 5,000 degrees when I get in there. But then the dust gets in, and dust gets everywhere. So it's kind of like staying in the flow of life is just about like staying on top of those things on a regular basis. The best routine and best time I've had in terms of keeping my shit together was following the fly lady. The fly lady comes up all the time. I think there's been 3 different, months in the last however many years that I've talked about decluttering. Once in 2015, once in 2016, and now this year. And people always bring up the fly lady. So look up the fly lady, people. People seem to really, really love her. I haven't super gotten into her. I've bookmarked her, but I haven't gotten on the fly lady train yet. But I know that people love her. And so thank you for bringing that up, because she gets a lot of shout outs anytime I talk about this. What, or go back over to, oh, I know another thing I wanted to talk about. This is so neat to me. Look at this. This is going to be cool to witchy people. I love working with the witch's pyramid, which I've come to refer to mostly as the witch's star, just because that makes more sense than the witch's pyramid, the pentacle. I love to work with that energy as a manifestation process. So I move through the different points on the witch's star there's a formula for manifesting that I like to use. And I've talked about it a ton on the podcast. I've dedicated whole podcast episodes just to that. So I won't get into that here, but I just want to say this, look at that. Can you see that? Hold on. I got to see if you can see that. Yes. Check it out. It's a pentacle. So this is how the 5 elements are laid out in Feng Shui. It's very witchy that way, although they work with a slightly different system than most witches do. Something that I didn't get in the beginning, Feng Shui literally means wind, water, and then there's no air element. And I'm just like, how rude, because again, I'm an air sign and I'm very airy. Talkative mind, and I was just like, how is there no air sign? There's metal. And come to find out, Feng Shui it's one of 5 different Chinese metaphysical like branches of the Chinese metaphysical world. Feng Shui is one of them. The Chinese people have the coolest systems, and they're ancient, and they all work together holistically. Feng Shui is one of them. And they work with qi or ki, which is life force energy. And the whole goal is to keep life force energy flowing and moving in a productive, abundant, healthy, happy way. And they believe that wind scatters chi. So I'm saying chi, some people say ki, Q-I. Chi rides wind, and then wind can scatter it. So you don't want that to happen, right? Water retains chi energy, which is why I think money is represented by the water element in Feng Shui. So maybe that's why they left air out, because they don't want to scatter the chi. So the elements here, I have them written down so I don't have to keep looking at this book. The elements work together in a system. And this, if you want to get like witchy with the Feng Shui to work with your home, let's see. Okay, so it goes like this. There's a constructive cycle and a destructive cycle. So the different elements feed each other. There is wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Those are the 5 elements in Feng Shui. So wood feeds fire. That makes sense, right? Wood feeds fire. Fire feeds earth. If you think about how after a big, why can't I think of the right word for this? Firestorm is what I would say, a wildfire. When a wildfire tears through the land, it actually ends up fertilizing and regenerating the soil. So that makes sense, right? Fire feeds earth. Earth feeds metal. We get our metals from the earth, from mining the earth. So that makes sense. The one that trips people up a lot is metal feeds water. And it makes sense to me. Some people talk about how water condenses on metal. Like if you leave metal outside and the dew will like condense on the metal. I tend to think of it more as like metal pipes that the water runs through. But in Feng Shui, metal feeds water, and then water feeds wood, which makes sense. Water, plants and trees are represented by wood. So water feeds wood. The way you work with this in your space is if a room if a room needs more fire, you want to bring some wood element in to stoke the fire, to feed the fire. So your first thought might be like, oh, I need to bring some fire representations into this room. So you might want to bring in some orange toned crystals or red toned crystals or candles or light sources, colors that represent fire to you. But in actuality, that is a good thing. But an even better thing to do is focus on feeding the fire that's already there. Maybe you can do a little bit of both. And you do that by bringing in the wood element. So that would be by bringing in plants or a big old wooden something. And that's how you feed the fire element. I think this is superstitious, but also very cool. So then also you have, it works backwards. So the different elements can dampen each other. And so if you have like too much here, wood controls earth, earth controls water, water controls fire, fire controls metal, metal controls wood. Too much metal is not good for the wood. But if you have too much wood, you might bring some metal in to balance that out. So that is something I really wanted to mention. My feet are so much falling asleep. Holy cow. That's something I wanted to mention because it's really, really cool. And then I'm looking at a chart right here. The Bagua Map, right? Remember walking in your front door? If you're walking in your front door, picture you're like in the Bagua Map. And you're facing the back of your house, your front door would be water. And then as you move around your house, like wood comes next, and then fire comes next. And then you circle down, you kind of snake around to the center of your home, which would be earth. And then earth goes out to the eastern side, or your right side, I guess. I shouldn't say east or west, that gets confusing. To your right side, which would be metal. And then metal comes back around to where you're standing, and that's water. That's everything I wanted to say, that I planned to say. I'm going to go back over to your questions. I just thought that was interesting to mention because witchy people, we work with the elements. And I love that there are these ancient systems that go back thousands of years where people learned to work with and harness the energies of nature to make their lives better. And that's originally what Feng Shui was about. It was about building your home. Where should we build our home? What would be the most optimal location? And then how do we take advantage of the water and the wind and the sunlight? You know, so we're warm in the winter and cool in the summer, and we have access to the waterways to bring food downstream, or you know, things like that. It was very, very practical. It's very much a nature art, which I think is witchy and very cool. Is that enough berries for you? It's a love-hate relationship with the fly lady. That's awesome. She makes you confront your ego. Yes. Yeah. That's important. That makes me want to look up her work again. It's not that I didn't like her. I just never have had a fly lady moment. I think I bookmarked it and just never went back to it. So that definitely makes me want to go look her back up. It feels like a year ago. Where has the time gone? Yes. I think that, yes. I think I'm going to wrap up here unless you guys have any more questions. I skipped making a video last week, and I think I'm going to do that more often because one of the things that's happened for me, in addition to doing the physical detox, the Ayurvedic detox, is I've been looking at my business too. I am trying to make space in my life. I've been trying to do this for a long time. I built Kickass Witch up, and I have so many coaching clients. I make all of this content, and I love it all. But I'm trying, the message of Kickass Witch is creating the kick-ass life of your dreams. And that's what I help people do. And I fell into this really accidentally and just found that I love it. But also, I have a dream. My dream is to make books and movies. And I've gotten to do some of that through Kickass Witch, but I have this novel series, 5 books that I want to put out into the world and hopefully turn into movies in some way. And yet I'm not willing to get rid of Kickass Witch. So I'm starting to look around and kind of space clear my business and be like, what can I do to make my dreams come true and to keep doing Kick-Ass Switch? So I'm going to start experimenting with cutting back on things here and there, probably videos. I'll end up always doing, I think, the mega vlog because you guys like that so much. And I like that you like it. So I will keep doing the mega vlogs. And then I might just do like 1 or 2 videos a month, depending on the length of the month, because videos are the most time consuming for me, the most energy consuming, whereas the podcast is just easy. I love doing the podcast. It's not as intensive for me. So, and clearly I can never shut up. So it suits me very well. It has a much bigger audience than the videos do too. So I think it's win-win. People seem to like that better, and I seem to enjoy doing that more. Hi, Teresa. Hi. I was just thinking about you the other day when I was decluttering because I found one of the handmade cards. You've made me some really beautiful handmade cards. And I put them in this sleeve in the back of my book of shadows because I don't want to throw them away because they were made with so much love. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? I will sit here and linger for 1 second longer before I split town. I hope you got something out of this month, that you enjoyed the content. I'm at the end of it now, except for Patreon. I'm doing 2 more podcasts there and a Q&A video over on Patreon. But otherwise, I'm out. I still have your Christmas card. Oh, maybe you should just save it for this year. It'll be my 2017 Christmas card. Okay, I'm going to split, you guys. Thank you so much for showing up. It's so fun to talk to you. I really enjoy doing this, and I have found this is much easier than pre-recording a video and then editing it and uploading it. So definitely more of this as opposed to pre-recorded videos, for sure. Until we meet again, much love to you. Happy house decluttering, feng shuiing. Peace, everybody. Bye. Goodbye.